welcome to this channel. Now, before I say anything, of course, if you're a Kenyan, remember we are rejecting everything coming from the government, all right? So we are rejecting the finance bill, we are rejecting punitive taxes, we are rejecting everything. So make sure you just go to Twitter if you have a Twitter account, wherever you go. Of course, make sure you you put in the hashtag Ruto must go, hashtag reject punitive taxes. We are fucked up. We are not going to accept anything more from this particular government. And of course, as young people, we have to stand for our rights. We have to stand for what we believe in, all right? So we are advocating for good leadership, and that is how we are going to thrive even as we continue pushing our crypto projects, all right? So otherwise, welcome to this channel. If it's your first time here, of course, hit the subscribe button, because in this video, I want to talk about the Openex. Openex has a couple of updates, and I want to give my opinions on the fair launch. The fair launch is actually beginning on 1st of July. And I'm going to be doing some mathematics to reveal two things. One, the possible listing price of OEX. And I'm actually, my probability is increasing every single day. I'm actually becoming almost certain that whatever I'm saying could not be far from the truth. So I'm going to be giving what the fair launch price is expected to be and what the listing price is going to be based on the fair launch development. So make sure you watch this particular up to the very end to understand what is unfolding in this Openex. Now, of course, when you open your Openex app, importing MetaMask to Openex, you're going to realize we have a couple of updates. One, when you tap on the app section, then you tap on the launch section, you realize, first of all, we have the fair launch already established. Here you will be buying with Core, and you will be buying with USDT, and we also have an option of buying with bot, all right, using bot mainnet, that is. And then another thing, you realize now on the Openex section, not really Openex section, let me check, on the airdrop section, you can also see that we have the claim button for OEX already available here, but it's not enabled yet. So that means after fair launch, we are going to be claiming our tokens, and we will now be selling our tokens on the exchanges where they will be listing. So now let's jump into it to see all the details about the fair launch. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. So let's see what is likely to be the value of the fair launch for Openex. I'm going to be revealing that mathematically. So let's first of all see all the details for Openex. All the details for the fair launch. All right, so this information came from the Openex team yesterday, and they are saying, good morning, Openex community. Based on the current voting results, Openex has developed the following launch plan to enhance community governance and transparency. So let me open that to see all the details. So they are saying these are the tokenomics adjustments. Remember, they were actually reducing the allocation for team from 10% to 8%. That means they are taking 2% of 1 billion. That is what? 20 million, all right? So they are taking 20 million tokens that was allocated for the team, and it's actually going to be allocated for the fair launch. So all the details for the fair launch is this. And of course, 20 million makes 0.2% of the total supply, all right? So the fair launch is actually beginning on 1st of June, and it's ending on July 15th. Sorry, July, not June. July 1st to July 15th. Of course, that means listing is actually going to be happening probably 1 week after the fair launch has ended. That is almost for sure. So expect listing to be done probably between July 19th up to around July 23rd, thereabout. That is actually expected to be the listing time, because after fair launch ends, there is nothing more we will be waiting. The exchanges are already there and they are waiting. And once the fair launch has been concluded, probably at most 1 week listing is going to be expected. All right. So you can see the supported tokens. We have Core, USDT, and BOT. And the maximum one can buy is 5,000 Core. The maximum one can contribute, that is 5,000 Core, 5,000 USDT, or rather 5 million BOT. Yes. All right. So we have the allocation for each particular crypto, 15 million OEX allocated for those who will be buying using Core, 3 million for those using USDT, and 2 million for those using BOT. All right. So these people who will be buying their tokens on the fair launch at TGE, they are going to be getting 50% of the tokens. All right. So 50% of the tokens they will buy will be given to them at TGE. That is after 15th. All right. So the listing plan, of course, centralized exchanges, we have 3 exchanges, probably where listing is going to be done. And of course, for those people who are getting the airdrop, they will be getting 20%. Remember, they're getting 20%, but for those who are buying from the fair launch, they are actually getting how much? They are getting 50%. So now, I want to dissect and understand. Now, first of all, even before I dissect, there are people who don't understand what fair launch means. Now, look here. Fair launch is actually, fair launch simply means everyone will be buying OEX at the same price. Whether you come earlier, whether you're going to buy on 1st of July, whether you're going to be the last person to buy, everyone who purchases their OEX, who makes a contribution, they are going to be getting OEX at the same value. All right. So how many OEX are we talking about? We are talking about 20 million OEX are available for fair launch. All right. So now, if you look keenly, you are going to realize one thing. I'm going to do some statistics here, and I want you to follow me up to the very end. Make sure you do not get lost in the process. So let me import my MetaMask here right first. So very first, we check how many people participated on voting. All right. Remember, we just concluded some voting here, and you realize one of the voting items was actually about the postponement of OEX listing. So if you open that, you're going to realize the number of people who voted. These are actually people who have been actively mining in this particular airdrop. You realize 14 million people voted for postponement. 38 million people disagreed with that, and then 550,000 people, they disagreed with the above solutions. So if you let's add that is 14, that's 14 million. All right. So let's see, 14 million plus 38. You realize that is over 52 million people who voted. These are people, and remember, there are people who even didn't vote. So we are talking about people who have mined and they are actively engaged in this particular conversation. So 52 million voted, and this is actually going to be my sample size. So I'm going to be using 52 million as my sample size. So I'm going to assume, and my prediction in this case is highly likely to be correct. I'm going to assume only 10% of this will participate in the fair launch, even though I believe the percentage could be higher than this. But I'm going to assume 10% of this will participate in the fair launch. All right. So I'm going to multiply this by 10%. That means, according to my analysis, 5,200,000 people will participate in the fair launch. But now remember, someone will come with $100, someone will come with $50, someone will come with $20. But you know what? I'm going to assume that on average, everyone is just going to spend the little amount, the minimum, which is $10. All right, so I'm going to assume 5.2 million members. Everyone is going to buy or is going to contribute only $10, which is actually highly likely to happen. So if I multiply this by 10, it means the total amount of money we are going to spend on OEX contribution for fair launch is actually going to amount to $52 million. All right, so I'm going to assume $52 million is going to be contributed. So now remember, these are fair launch and everyone is getting at the same price. So that means $52 million has been contributed, and the amount of OEX tokens we are grabbing is actually 20 million. That means to know the value we are going to be given one OEX at is going to be 52 million divided by, this is 52 million divided by, remember we are grabbing 20 million. This is what we are fighting for. So that means one OEX is going to be $2.6 according to my analysis here. One OEX is going to be $2.6 on the fair launch. And of course, in my estimation, the listing price is expected to be higher than the fair launch. Of course, that means the launching price could easily be above $3. So I'm looking at the value of one OEX. You know, one OEX being more than $3. All right. So this is highly likely to happen. One OEX, $3. That is, according to my analysis, this is going to be the launch price for this particular OEX. So, of course, this is not a financial advice. Remember, I'm just doing my own analysis. It could be true. It may not be true, but for sure, I believe it is not likely to be far from the truth. So, if you want to participate in the fair launch for OEX, I'm going to be doing a video on that is July 1st once it starts. So make sure, if you just want to participate in this, I'm going to be doing a video. But then, of course, this is not a financial advice. Do your due diligence, make your own decision on whether you want to participate or not. After all, you have the free airdrop, so you don't have to participate in this, and you will be withdrawing 20% of the tokens that you withdrew. Now, on the same note, of course, remember we have the Colend airdrop we are mining in the Satoshi app. Of course, do not forget it's actually ending in the next 2 days. Yes, it's ending on 30th of June. So make sure you continue mining. And after that, of course, we are going to be connecting our wallet. So otherwise, everyone should stay tuned on this particular airdrop. I believe it's going to be epic. I believe it's going to be worthy the wait, even though it has taken long to launch. I believe it's going to reward their miners handsomely. So make sure you stay tuned on our channel. And of course, do not forget to subscribe to our channel, because anytime we are going to be uploading any video, YouTube is going to be notifying you. And of course, you are going to be getting our updates on our Telegram channel as well. So I've pinned the Telegram link on the description of this video. So make sure you get connected with us to get updated on the future airdrop. As always, thank you very much. I'll be keeping you updated in the next updates.